Hi, this is Stray Passer. Welcome to my review of John Wick Chapter 4 with spoilers. I thought at first I wasn't going to do spoilers for this movie, but I already recorded my review without spoilers in it. So now I'm going to say spoilers in this because I definitely want to talk about some things in this movie. Like I said, this chapter, John Wick is trying to basically find a way to get out of the high table. You know, they sent everybody after him, so he's trying to figure out a way. And I think Ian McShane's character, Winston, he comes up with a way that basically he can challenge the table, you know, like one-on-one combat. But first he has to kind of get back in with his family, because I think it was in the third movie, or was it the second movie, where Angelica Houston, she played a relative, and he basically got thrown out of the family. So he basically has to try to find a way to get back into the family. Okay, and then that way the family represent him when he challenges, you know, the Marquis, like, you know, one-on-one combat. And he also has to deal with an old friend, Donnie Yen, who plays a character named Kane, a blind assassin, okay, who has a daughter, and basically the high table kind of blackmails him into going after John Wick. Okay, and you also have another actor in this, again, I'm going to butcher his name, let's see if I pronounce it right, Hiroki Sanada, who plays Samazu, who's a friend of John Wick, and he kind of hides John Wick in the in his hotel. And also, there's a great sequence in the beginning of the movie where Winston, played by Ian McShane, and Lance Hendrick, you know, Sharon, they go to see the Marquis, and they tell him basically, because you allow John Wick to, you know, get away, they said you're going to be, you know, you're out basically. And so you think he's going to kill him, Ian McShane, but he doesn't kill Ian McShane. He shoots Sharon right in front of him, and then you actually see this is a scene where he, you know, they're looking out the window, and the hotel, because, you know, they had to evacuate the hotel and get out. He blows up his hotel. He literally blows it up. You see it literally implode. Okay, so he, you know, he's kicked out. He loses his hotel. His hotel gets blown up to bits, and his concierge gets killed in front of him. Okay, and I thought that was just brutal. Just to I guess to show you that Bill Skarsgård's character, the Marquis, you know, that he's not one to be trifled with. Okay, now you also have in this movie Clancy Brown. He plays Harbinger. I guess his character name is called Harbinger. He's the one that I guess that represents the table, and he I guess he goes around telling people what to do and stuff, and telling them what the table wants and all that stuff. And then you also, again, you have Lawrence Fishburne, who plays the Bowery King. He's not in this movie as much. But you have another character in this movie that I really like, Shamir Anderson. He plays Tracker. He's a guy that's basically following John Wick around, and he has a dog with him, like you see in the trailer, that dog. And he's basically following John Wick around, and you know, and it looks like maybe he wants to, yeah, he'll go after John Wick, but you know, he has to be paid. And there's even a nice sequence between him and Bill Skarsgård where he goes to him and he has a meeting with him, and he literally takes a knife. He tells him how much he wants to, you know, and then he'll take out John Wick, and the Marquis takes a knife and just literally stabs him in his hand, and then he tells him something about if you pull the knife out of your hand, you're a certain type of person, or if you just, you know, you literally pull your hand away from the knife, you're another type of person. I thought that whole scene was pretty intense. And again, like I said, this movie's almost 3 hours long, but this movie is not boring at all. I didn't get up, and once I stayed to the end, to the credits, to see this. And I know people thought there was going to be an after credit scene in this, but I didn't think there were. And I think there was that I missed, which was a scene apparently because there's John Wick's friend Samizu, who gets killed by Donnie Yen's character in the movie in front of his daughter. And there's a scene where the daughter tells John Wick, you know, to kill Kane before she leaves, and then literally the Marquis blackmails Kane into being his proxy, I guess, to fight, you know, when they have the duel to face off against John Wick. And he winds up, you know, they wind up shooting each other. And there's a great sequence towards the end where he shoots Donnie Yen's character Kane. He shoots John Wick, but John Wick doesn't fire his gun. The last shot, they shoot at each other, I think, at a distance 20 paces, then they go 10 paces, and then like 5 paces, I think. And then Donnie Yen's character shoots, you know, he shoots John Wick, and he falls down. But I knew John Wick didn't fire his gun. And then the Marquis, you know, because he figures that John Wick is dying and that he fired his gun, he just assumes it. And he grabs the gun from Kane and goes, okay, I'm taking over your relief, and because we won't touch you or your daughter. And then he said, I want to give him the coup de grace, the final death blow. But John Wick still never did fire his gun, and Ian McShane even says, "You idiot! He didn't even fire his gun." And then John Wick blows him away, shoots Bill Skarsgård right in the head. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And he shot him right in the middle of the head. I knew that was happening because I knew John Wick didn't fire his gun, so I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Now, Grace Randolph, I watched her spoiler review of this John Wick, and she didn't like that John Wick died in this movie, and I thought maybe he wouldn't die. I thought maybe they would save it for a potential for a fifth movie, but he did die because John Wick, after everything is over, and Kane goes off and he says goodbye to John Wick, and it's just and the Marquis, the Harbinger, Clancy Brown says, "Okay, John Wick, you're free from the high table. You have nobody will come after you anymore." And Donnie Yen's his character Kane, you're free, and you and your daughter are safe. And John Wick goes up to Winston and goes, "Just make sure I get home." And then John Wick sits on the stairs, and then you see, because remember, he's been shot a couple of times. And the last shot he got was like right here, and he just, he thinks about his wife. You see him thinking about his wife, and then he leans over and just falls over it. And then the next thing you see, Lawrence Fishburne's the Bowery King, him and Winston and Ian McShane, they're at, in front of his grave, John Wick's grave, and because he's buried right next to his wife. And they say those words, and then it seemingly ends. But like I said, I got up right after that, and the credits rolled. But apparently, there's a scene at the end where Donnie Yen with his daughter and Shamiza's daughter, who wants to avenge the character of Mia. Not Mia, excuse me. I forgot her character's name. She wants to, you see her seemingly going after Kane for revenge for him killing her father. So I don't know if they're going to continue it from that point, but I thought the way it ended was kind of poetic. It looked like John Wick was, he was tired. He was done. He cleared himself from the high table, and he just wanted to rest and be with his wife, literally. I think it was kind of poetic the way it ended, or him just, he cleared the debt with the high table. His friend got to go off, and he told Winston to make sure he gets home, and then he just sat on the table, after everything, that long movie, all the chase, all the kills and everything, all the craziness that happened in this movie, and he saw his wife, he thought of his wife, kissing her, and then he just, fell over and died. So I think that was kind of poetic that he ended. It was, that after everything he's been through, that he gets to go, gets to hopefully go to heaven and be with his wife in the afterlife. I think that's kind of poetic. So I don't know if they are going to maybe throw a twist in there that John Wick did die or something, or that they faked his death, although there's no reason for him to fake his death because the high table cleared him now, so nobody's going to be coming after him after that point. Once, the Harbinger, Clancy Brown, said that he's been cleared of his death, so that nobody should be coming after him. So that's why I don't think they would fake his death. That's why I think he really did die at the end of this movie, because what would be the point of him going into hiding, because there's nobody else is going to be after him because he's been cleared by the high table, so nobody else is going to come after him. So I think maybe Keanu Reeves said, wanted this to be the last movie, and so if it is, to me, it's a great 4 chapters. And like I said, there were some great action sequences in Paris, and there's a really great scene with the way they shot it, like in an abandoned chateau, and they shoot it from like high up, so you're basically looking down on it. And John Wick is in the chateau, and the people are coming after him, and he's shooting, and he has his gun. And I watched Grace Randall's review. There's actually apparently a gun that actually shoots fire when it shoots, and you see him like going through from room to room, just killing people left and right, and it's just absolutely fantastic the way they shoot it from the top. And you just see, when he shoots somebody and they basically get lit on fire and gets killed. It's just a really great sequence. And there's a great sequence. It's I think on the steps too, towards the end of the movie when they're on the steps. And John Wick has to get to the top of this church to meet the Marquis for their one-on-one showdown. But the Marquis sends all these assassins after him, so he basically has to fight his way up up these stairs, which is just a great action scene. It's just a great scene, great sequence. And there's a part where he gets all the way up the stairs, and then he literally gets kicked and goes all the way back down the stairs, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Okay, and then Donnie Yen's character Kane comes along and says, I'm here to help you," and they barrel their way up the stairs. Okay, it's just, again, this movie just has some just absolutely fantastic action sequences in the movie. Absolutely, the stunt work in this movie is absolutely incredible. Okay, I just absolutely love it. It's just incredible. And there's another character, Shamir Anderson, who plays the tracker. I like his character as well. He's this black guy who apparently you think maybe he's going after John Wick to collect the money, and he even goes to the marquee and said names his price to kill John Wick. But he's kind of more like a frenemy in this movie, because he kind of helps John Wick a lot in this movie. And John Wick at one point even saves his dog, which he really appreciates. and I liked his character as well. I think he was good. And this, again, like I said, the action sequences in this movie are just absolutely incredible. This John Wick franchise is just going to go down as probably one of the greatest action series ever. Just the amount of kills. And I wanted because I know they've done the kills for all three movies that have came out so far. So I definitely wonder what the kill count is for this movie, because they killed a lot of people in this movie. A lot of people got killed by guns, by cars, by dog, by just every which way you could think of. People got killed in this movie. It's just great. And there was another great scene with what's his name? The actor. I can't remember his name now. Hold on. The actor, who plays the fat guy. I can't think of his name now. Wait a minute. Scott Adkins. I'm sorry. He plays Scott Adkins is actually an action star who does a bunch of B movies. He's really famous because he's a really great martial artist, but he does a bunch of B movies and stuff. But he plays another guy in a fat suit, and he has an accent. And there's a great sequence with Keanu Reeves, because he has to get back with his family, who basically kicked him out. I think when Angelique Houston, I think it was the second movie, or it might have been the third movie, where he had to go to the family, and they basically kicked him out at the end. But he had to go back to his family to try to get back in with his family, so they could support his bid to have a one-on-one combat with the Marquis to clear himself from the high table. And he goes back to them. And the thing he has to do, after they nearly hang him, they keep stretching his neck to try to, but they said that they wanted him to kill the guy that killed the father. And so he goes to, to the casino where Scott Adkins is in his big fat suit and his gold teeth. And they have this great intense fight in this movie. It's, again, the fight sequences in this movie are just absolutely badass insane, just incredible. And hats off to the people, the stunt people, the director, the actors. Everything looks absolutely fantastic in this movie, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm gonna give this movie, again, I gave it an 8.5 in my spoiler-free review, but it definitely deserves it. This movie, if this movie is the end of it, I think this is a nice way it went out. Like I said, Scott with John Wick. After he got himself cleared from the high table, Winston got his hotel back. That was part of the deal, that Winston would get his hotel back and stuff, and would not be excommunicado again. And then of course Donnie Yen, him and his daughter got cleared, but they may have issues, like I said, because at the end of the movie, in the post-credit scene, which I missed, him and his daughter, I guess, were together, and the daughter of the character he killed early in the movie, John Wick's friend, was coming after him, because like I said, there was a moment in the movie when they're on the train and she's wounded, and after her father's died, and she tells John Wick to go after Kane to kill, and I think he agrees. I think he did agree to do that, but John Wick dies before that happens, so she's going after him. Okay, and I think that was just. I don't know if they're going to continue it on with a different character. Maybe they'll continue to make these type of movies, but without John Wick in them. Who knows how they're going to do it? Who knows? Maybe they'll do something with Donnie Yen, and because he did say something real interesting, because his character is blind, but he said because I think somebody asked him. I think it was the tracker asked him, but he said he gave the high table his eyes. So So I don't know if they're going to do maybe a movie with Kane in it, maybe his backstory and stuff, which I wouldn't mind watching, because literally he's a blind assassin, and he said in the movie that he gave the table his eyes, the high table his eyes, which means he could see before. Okay, which means, you know, I don't know if it was a mission he was on or something where he basically had to, that he failed or something, and he had to basically sacrifice his vision for them. And I thought that was just incredible when he said that. I gave them my eyes. I thought that just ran chills up down my body when he said that. Excuse me, but again, I love this movie. Again, 8.5 for me. I know Grace Randolph didn't like certain things in this movie, and she didn't like that John Wick died, the way he died. I had no problem with that, with the way he died, because it seemed like he finished his business. He got himself free from the high table, okay, and so he was free and clear. He didn't have to run. So that's why I don't think he faked his death, because he would have no reason, because the high table is not after him anymore. Okay, he killed the Marquis, so he settled his debt, and the high table was going to call off the bounty on him, so he's free and clear. He can go ahead and live his life. But, you know, he literally died. They show that for a reason. I think him thinking about his wife, and then him just falling over dead, because he's been through so much, especially in that movie. He's been through so much, and through all 4 movies he's been through so much. So it's time to let John Wick rest, I think, and let him go to heaven and be with his wife in the afterlife. I think that's an appropriate end for John Wick. Let him go off and be with his wife in the afterlife. I think that's an appropriate end. Now, if they come back later and say, oh, he really didn't die, but you have to give me, you know, a really good reason why he would fake his death, because he had nothing to run from. Okay, so I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you why he would fake his death. Okay, because he's been cleared by the high table, so nobody's going to come after him. Okay, so he has no reason to fake his death. You know. So, but anyway, I liked it. I love this movie, so I definitely recommend it. And it's a nice. I would love for them to one day to have like a John Wick collection. Okay, maybe with like a fake gun. Well, they probably won't do that, because, you know, guns, the way guns are and stuff. But I would love it like a John Wick Blu-ray set. Okay, which that would be freaking awesome. Okay, if they did that. But I think it's enough if they want to end the movies at this. But I'm not the producers of this movie. But I know this movie's going to make a lot of money, so they may be tempted to make another one. Although, like I said, I don't know how you're going to say John Wick faked his death, or why he did it. You have to come up with a really good reason to me to say why he faked his death. Okay, because that scene with Ian McShane and Lawrence Fishburne at his grave seemed like a nice ending, a nice bow to everything, all 4 movies. So I wouldn't know why they would, you know, say he faked his death. You know, what reason would he have? Okay, because he's been cleared by the high table, so he's free and clear to go live his life. Okay, but anyway, let me know what you think of this movie, John Wick 4, Chapter 4. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below, and let me know if you think there should be a 5th movie. I think it's enough. It's enough. Although I love these movies, and I wouldn't mind to do a 5th movie, but you got to come up with a real good reason why John Wick would fake his death. Okay, because he had no reason to. Okay, in my opinion. Okay, feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Links to my social media are in the description box: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel called Using the Pins. You can check that out as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. My Patreon is only $5 a month. I have tons of content on there, tons of unedited content on there. I have Marvel shows on there, DC TV shows, The Boys Season 3, movies on there as well. I have Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian. Follow link below, $5 unedited content. Check it out if you want to join. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long, and take care.